Forks on the Road by Cary Jensen. Chapter 6. Dakota Harvest Bakers. Rick and I are joined in our continuing quest by our friend Big Mike. Our destination today is Dakota Harvest Bakers, located in recently renovated downtown Grand Forks. This renovation was necessitated by damage caused by the Great Flood and Fire of 1997. Dakota Harvest Bakers is a clean little bakery and restaurant that offers an appreciated selection of breads, cookies, scones, sandwiches, soup, and the like. It appears to cater to the more bohemian side of Grand Forks, which is to say the college crowd, though the UND campus is located several miles from downtown. Rick suggested Dakota Harvest Bakers, and he seems immediately comfortable here. Big Mike and I, on the other hand, are a bit out of our element. The place contains maybe 15 or so tables and a display counter behind which the staff works. An uneven line of people are waiting at this counter to order their food, and while we sense that there must be some organization to this process, it isn't immediately obvious to us what it is. After a short, unpleasant orientation, we chose to stand at what we conclude must be the end of the line. Fortunately, we are right. The raggedy line moves slowly, which suits us fine as we are still not sure what to order. The walls are adorned with a large amount of for sale artwork, presumably by local artists, but a menu is nowhere to be seen. Finally, we notice a single letter-sized piece of paper mounted in a clear acrylic stand propped up on the display counter. This, apparently, is the menu, and it lists a number of options, including several different types of sandwiches. Half of one of these sandwiches, a bowl of soup du jour, today it's tomato, or a combination of a sandwich and soup, or a half sandwich and soup. Can't be simpler, can it? But the simplicity seems artificial. I suspect that Dakota Harvest Baker regulars know about other good stuff that is available and typically order off menu. We, the uninitiated, the undeserving, must simply make do with the meager offerings as displayed. After a short while, it's our turn to order. I order an English pub sarnie, as does Big Mike. This is a roast beef sandwich served on raisin and nut bread and garnished with sautéed onions. Rick orders some kind of ham and cheese sandwich served on a bagel, along with a bowl of the tomato soup. The sandwich we order are retrieved, pre-assembled, from the large display case and taken off towards the register, where some additional processing might take place. Might is the key word here. I don't think anything is happening to our sandwiches, other than being queued for our eventual arrival at the register. As we inch towards pickup, I noticed that folks I'm assuming are regulars are having other stuff done to their orders, such as having their sandwiches grilled under panini presses. This sounds good to me, but I was never offered this option. There are 2 panini presses at work here. Looking a bit like a George Foreman grill, they sport an articulated hinge that traps the sandwich between 2 hot grilling surfaces. The hinge permits the grills to remain parallel regardless of the thickness of the sandwich, toasting the outside to a nice brown, creating visible grill marks on the outside while warming the contents and melting cheese if present. As we continue our gradual migration towards checkout, we are asked for our order no less than 3 more times, which suggests that the staff are as uncomfortable with this whole process as we are. Eventually, we arrive at the register, and this is where I make my move. I ask to have my sandwich grilled. My request is noted, and we are asked if we'd like anything else. Rick adds a loaf of Dakota Harvest Baker sourdough to the order, but none of us order beverages. We had previously spotted a self-service water station, but there were no other obvious drink selections, so water it is. I suspect that regulars can order tea, though I'm not so sure about coffee. I begin to have the nagging suspicion that we are being tested. If we belong here, we'd already know what options were available, and we'd just go ahead and order what we want. Maybe we'd feel more comfortable at Denny's, where our ordering options are laid out nice and clear on a menu. Maybe we aren't hip enough. I don't know, but that's how it feels. In general, our food is good, though my sandwich tastes like it's good for me, and that means exactly what it sounds like. I am grateful that I had my sandwich grilled in the panini press, even though I have to sit for over 5 minutes while Rick and Big Mike eat before it's finally available. I'm pretty certain that this delay is not an unspoken outsider punishment for an ill-timed request, just the bottleneck produced by the grilling machines. I mean, really, they have only 2 of them, and since the sandwiches had been prepared in advance, this is the only cooking going on in the place. Even the soup is simply ladled out of a large, steaming cauldron. If anyone gave it serious thought, they'd recognize they could improve their workflow by purchasing a few more panini presses, but that's probably just the engineer in me talking. Big Mike has the same kind of sandwich as me, though his is not grilled, and he is generally pleased with what he has, though it's nothing like the food he would normally order. Rick says that his sandwich is also good, though he thinks that a sandwich on a bagel base is an unconventional choice, and kind of hard to bite into. But his objection to his sandwich bread is nothing compared to the derision he heaps on the foundation for our meal. Raisin bread is for kids, he assures us. But it isn't just raisin bread, there are nuts as well, and that makes it, healthy, and kids typically don't go for healthy. I don't think that matters much from Rick's perspective. Actually, I wish my sandwich had more meat and that the onions were more obvious. Let me behind the counter. Where's the good stuff you serve the regulars? I know it's here. But I'm sounding more critical than I should be. Rick loved his soup. It was hearty and filling. He also spoke highly of his sourdough bread, slightly doughy at the very heart and not as crusty on the outside as he would have preferred, but very good nonetheless. A fine artisan bread, he concluded, and when you live in a remote city like Grand Forks, be grateful for what you have. Yes, we all agreed that the Dakota Harvest Baker's adventure was a success, and we have added a new and different restaurant to our list of must-returns. Requests, if you will. In fact, Rick says he'd feel comfortable reading a book in the place. It's becoming apparent that this is one of Rick's criteria. I'd have to agree, but I've felt quite comfortable reading in a number of libraries I've visited, but I can't say that I've ever wanted to eat a panini-grilled English pub sarnie in any of them.